All right, so are you ready for this? Today we're going deep with Jose Laraya.
Oh, yeah.
He's a seafarer, and for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it's an overseas Filipino worker.
Yeah.
And he managed to reach financial independence and a happy family life.
The dream.
Yeah, totally, the dream.
Yeah.
And we have so much to go on with him. Excerpts from his book, From Sea to Success.
Oh, nice.
Some personal notes, and even a quiz.
Ah.
So we are going to put all this together and see how he went from sea to success, right?
I love it. His story is really something else.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like some fancy investment strategy or winning the lottery or something.
Right.
It's just about consistency and, you know, just knowing what you want.
I know, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
When you think about someone who works at sea, you
Right.
kind of just picture them getting paid all at once.
After months at sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a regular paycheck.
Yeah, it's not your typical financial advice situation, is it?
Not at all. So I'm curious, how did that change how he thought about money?
Well, that's actually what shaped how he handled everything.
Interesting.
Yeah, he knew that as soon as he was back, you know.
On land.
Yeah, he had to have a system.
So he didn't wait for the right time to start planning?
Nope.
He just made every paycheck count.
Yeah, he treated it like it was do or die.
I like that. So what did that look like?
Well, he was really into this thing he called the envelope method.
Okay.
No apps or anything.
Wow.
Just envelopes, you know, the old-fashioned kind of.
Okay.
Every time he was paid, he'd split up the money physically.
Really?
Oh, yeah. One for necessities, one for savings, one for fun stuff.
Wow. So like actual envelopes? Cash in the envelope? That's
Yeah.
pretty old school.
Yeah.
I kind of love it.
Yeah.
Like you can actually see it.
Right. Jose said that it made it impossible to overspend because once that envelope was empty, that was it.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah.
I love that little trick. The other thing I notice is how much he talks about having goals. Like real goals you can see.
Oh, for sure. Not just some vague idea, but stuff he actually wanted to do.
Exactly. What were some of his...
Well, for him, it was taking care of his family,
Wow.
educating the kids, and retiring early enough to enjoy life with them.
So not just dreams, but like they were pushing him forward.
Oh, yeah. They were his motivation.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people can connect with that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's easy to forget about the big picture when you're just working all the time.
You get lost in the day-to-day.
Yeah, but having those goals in front of you can change everything.
It's like having a destination.
Yeah,
So you don't just drift around at sea.
exactly. Those goals also probably helped him with one of the hardest things for seafarers and OFWs.
Oh, yeah. Being away from their families for so long.
Yeah. It's easy to forget about how hard that must be. Did Jose talk about how he dealt with that?
Oh, yeah. He was really open about the loneliness and the guilt of missing things.
I bet.
He talked about how video calls and letters were really important for him, ways to stay connected. But he also said that knowing he was working towards a future where he could really be there for his family, that made it easier.
So the goals weren't just about money,
Right.
but about a better life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even if it meant being apart for a bit.
That's powerful. Okay, but it couldn't have been easy all the time.
Oh, of course not.
Did he ever run into money problems?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He talked about surprise expenses and times when he made less than he thought he would.
That's gotta be stressful.
Yeah, it's part of life. But here's the thing. He didn't freak out. He used those as learning moments.
Okay.
He'd look at his budget again, tighten things up, and never lose sight of the plan.
So instead of getting thrown off course,
Yeah.
he just adjusted.
Exactly. Like sailing through a storm, you got to handle the rough parts.
Exactly. So we've talked about how he started and built a good foundation.
Right.
But let's get to the good part the moment it all starts to pay off.
Okay.
When did he know he was on the right track to being free financially?
He describes this amazing feeling of watching his savings grow and realizing that early retirement was possible.
Wow.
Like all those envelopes, all those tough choices were adding up to something real.
That's awesome. But savings alone won't get you there. Did he start looking at investments then?
He did.
Because that can be really confusing, especially
Well.
for someone used to cash in envelopes.
Oh, yeah. He started slow. His first investment was government bonds.
Oh, he
Saw those as a safe way to start.
Smart. So he didn't just jump into something he didn't know.
Nope. But he didn't stop there.
I bet. What else did he do?
Once he was comfortable, he started exploring other things and eventually even got into rental properties.
Oh, wow. Rental properties. That's where the passive income really starts.
Exactly.
But before we get into all that, let's take a break and come back for part 2.
Sounds good.
We'll unpack all of that and more then.
Welcome back. It's so interesting to see how much thought Jose put into his finances.
I know, it's pretty inspiring.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that really stood out to me was that he kept budgeting even after he was financially free.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's not like he just started spending like crazy.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
He and his wife stuck with their envelope system, even in retirement.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It wasn't about not enjoying their money,
Right.
but about being aware and making sure their money was working for them.
So even with all that saved up,
Yeah.
they were still keeping track of their spending.
They were making sure they didn't overdo it.
That's some serious discipline goals right there. But let's talk about those investments. You mentioned rental properties,
I did.
which seem like a big step from those cash envelopes. How did he even start with that?
Remember those government bonds he started with?
Yeah.
When those matured, he used the money he made from them for a down payment on his first rental property.
Oh, so he used one investment to get into another one.
Exactly.
Pretty smart, right?
Very smart. But rental properties have their own challenges, don't they?
Oh, they do. He's really open about the fact that it's not all easy money. Right.
He had to learn how to be a landlord, deal with tenants, fix things.
I bet that's a whole other job.
It is. So it wasn't just buy a property and get rich.
No, there was work involved. Did he have any tips for people who want to do this?
He said it's super important to do your research.
Okay.
He spent months looking at different areas, doing the math, and talking to other landlords before he jumped in.
Makes sense. You wouldn't set sail without a map, right?
Exactly. You need to know what you're getting into.
For sure. And he also mentioned having a safety net.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the beginning. Unexpected repairs, empty apartments, those things can really hurt if you're not ready.
So it's about being realistic about the risks, not just the possible rewards.
Exactly. Did he have any other advice for building passive income streams?
Yeah, because rentals aren't for everyone.
He actually suggested trying different things. He looked into stocks that pay dividends. He even tried peer-to-peer lending.
Oh, wow.
He was always looking for new ways to make money.
So it's like having lots of ships all contributing to the journey.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
But it's not just about the strategies, right? There's something about his attitude that's really impressive.
Absolutely. He talks about being patient and not giving up when things go wrong.
Right.
He knew that building wealth, especially passive income, takes time.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for quick and easy. He was in it for the long haul.
That long-term thinking is so important.
It is. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but Jose's way was much more grounded.
Totally. He focused on building a strong base, learning the basics, and slowly growing from there.
Like building a house brick by brick.
I like that analogy. So we've talked about the financial side,
Yeah.
but I want to know what he actually did with all that freedom. Was it all fancy vacations and expensive cars?
Actually, no. While he did travel with his family, his biggest reward was just being there.
Oh, that's nice.
He talks about finally going to his kids' school events, having dinner together without rushing off to work, just enjoying those everyday things he missed.
So it wasn't about stuff.
Nope.
But about having time and building relationships.
Exactly.
That's something we can all relate to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about realizing that real wealth isn't just about money.
Right.
It's about having the freedom to choose how you spend your time and focusing on what really matters.
I love that. So often it's all about numbers.
Yeah,
But Jose's story shows us that it's really about creating a life you love.
exactly.
Yeah.
But wait, we haven't even talked about his mentoring.
Oh, yeah. Was that something he's passionate about?
Oh, yeah. He believed in sharing what he learned and helping others reach their own goals.
Okay.
He even went back to his hometown to teach people about money, especially young people.
That's amazing. It's
Yeah.
not just about his own success, but helping others too.
Right.
What a great way to give back. Okay, so we've covered so much.
Yeah.
His investments, his mindset, his family, his mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, how being a seafarer shaped his whole journey.
Okay.
We'll dive into that in part 3. All right, welcome back to our final look into Jose's story.
Yeah, this is where it all comes together.
It is. We've gone over his finances, investments, even his envelopes.
Yeah, his envelope system is classic.
But there's one thing left to explore. How being a seafarer really affected his whole approach to life and money.
It's pretty unique when you think about it. You know, being out at sea for so long,
Yeah.
dealing with crazy weather.
Totally unpredictable.
Yeah, and knowing that your income can change so much.
You have no control over it.
Nope. That kind of life makes you tough.
Like that saying, right? Smooth seas don't make skillful sailors.
Exactly.
But how did all that affect his money habits?
Well, if you're used to not knowing when you'll get paid, you're probably going to be careful with spending.
Makes sense. You can't just rely on a steady paycheck.
Right.
So you save up just in case.
Exactly. So the ups and downs of working at sea kind of forced him to be good with money.
Yeah, out of necessity. But it wasn't just about the practical stuff, right?
No way. It changed how he saw the world, too.
How so?
Being away from family for that long makes you realize how important they are.
For sure.
Jose talked about how those months at sea made him appreciate every second he had with his wife and kids.
So it wasn't just about money, it was about having a life where he could really be with his family.
That's it. It's a powerful stuff.
Did he talk about any bad parts of working at sea?
He did. He's honest about the sacrifices. He talks about missing birthdays, anniversaries, even just normal dinners together.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, he said there were times when he wondered if it was worth it.
Wow. That's tough. But he never gave up on his goals.
Nope. And in the end, he built a life where he didn't have to make those sacrifices anymore.
And I think that shows how strong he was. He didn't let the hard times stop him.
Yeah, he used them to make him even more determined.
Because he knew he was working towards something better.
Exactly, something that made it all worthwhile.
It's clear that Jose's story isn't just about money. It's about hard work, dedication, family, and creating a life that matches your values.
That's a great way to put it. It reminds us that money is just a tool. What matters is how you use it.
Right. And for Jose, it was about freedom, not just financial freedom, but the freedom to be with his loved ones, to give back and to live life his way.
I love that.
So as we wrap this up, let's go over some key takeaways, the things we can all learn from this. What do you think?
Well, I think the biggest one is consistency. Jose didn't get rich quickly.
Yeah.
He started small with those envelopes.
Yeah.
And kept going.
Yeah.
It was doing those small things over and over that made the difference.
And that reminds us that you don't need some complicated plan to be successful with money.
Right. Jose's way was really simple.
He stuck to the basics. Budgeting, saving, investing, smart.
Well,
it shows that sometimes the simple way is the best way.
Absolutely. And when it comes to investing, another big lesson is to spread out your money. Don't put everything in one place. Jose started with safe things like government bonds,
Right.
and then added rental properties, stocks, even lending. He was always looking for ways to reduce risk and have multiple sources of income.
I like that. And of course, we can't forget about patience. Building wealth, especially passive income, takes time.
Oh yeah, there are no shortcuts.
Yeah.
Jose knew this, and he was willing to wait. He didn't let setbacks bother him or get tempted by those schemes that promise you'll get rich fast.
He just kept his eyes on the prize.
Exactly. And having that clear vision is so important. Jose knew exactly what he wanted: financial freedom, family time, giving back to his community.
Yeah.
And that vision kept him going even when things were tough.
You know, it's amazing how Jose's journey speaks to so many people, even those who've never been on a ship. It reminds us that it's never too late to take charge of our money,
Right.
build a life we enjoy, and reach our own version of sea to success.
It's inspiring.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our last takeaway: taking action. It's not enough to just hear these stories or learn about finances.
You got to do something.
You got it. Start small, make a plan, and take their first step.
That first step is the most important.
It is. Because like Jose shows us, with hard work, dedication, and a clear vision, anything is possible.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, I want to ask you, what's one small step you can take today to get closer to your goals?
Yeah, like making a budget, setting up automatic savings, or even just looking into a new investment idea.
It doesn't matter what it is, just do something.
Yeah, take action.
As Jose's story shows us, with effort, commitment, and a clear vision, anything is possible.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep working towards the life you want to